Now, first, let's set the layout of the project. What we'll be doing is we'll create a new Maven project itself. So I'm gonna click on project and select Maven project, and I'll be creating a simple project. Say com.way to automation page object model basics. Right. So the dependencies would remain same as we have used in data driven. So we'll be taking the same dependencies over here as well. So I'll copy all the dependencies and we'll gonna paste it to our page object model project. So dependencies are required for Log4j, Maven Surefire plugin. Then we need Apache POI, right, for Excel reading MySQL, Java Mail, and then report ng, extend reports, right? All these things that are required, including test ng. So I'll be adding dependencies over here. Dependencies. Right, save this and all the errors should go away and dependencies should get added over here. Right. After that, if we talk about the basic layout, so what we're gonna do in some of the projects, you're gonna see that the business concepts are designed in your main packages, right? You can keep your development task in main package, or you can keep your business concepts as well within your main package, and your test will only going to contain your test cases, right? If you want, you can keep all your entire automation business concepts, business logics, and test cases both in test package, or you can divide it into main and test cases, and main will contain your own only and only the business concepts. Right. So what? How we're gonna design it? I'll be creating some packages over here. As in, the packages will remain same as we have seen in data driven. There will be a package com.w2a.test cases where we'll be designing our test cases. I'll be creating a package com.w2a.rough. We'll be doing all the rough work over here. We'll be creating utilities com.w2a.utilities. Right. See, to work on the page object model approach, your basic approach should be clear. You should have already gone through the data driven approach, right? Because I'll be taking a lot of things from our previous framework, whatever that we have designed from scratch, right? So you should be familiar with the data driven basics approach, right? So before watching this lecture, just go through the data driven one, right? So after this, like I'll be creating something on listeners. So package for listeners w2a dot listeners, right? And then in my resources, most of the resources where I'll be reading the data from Excel, whatever things that we'll be doing in test cases, reading data, generating logs, we can keep all these things in our test resources. So the package will be com.w2a.excel for Excel sheet, right? Then we can add a resource package com.w2a dot the resource would be properties, right? We'll be taking properties, right? We'll be adding a new folder over here for logs, right? We can keep our runner over here, so it will be runner, right, where we'll be keeping our test.ng XML file, right? So most of these things remain same. So logs, as in what all logs that we have seen. I'll go to the root of this project first. So in resources, we can have Excel sheet. I'll just take the same Excel sheet. We'll be manipulating it later on. First, let's just add a layout to our project before we start writing the code. First, we'll make sure all the things are in place. Executables, I'll take it as it is, where we would be needing all the drivers for browser, for Chrome driver, if you want to include Gecko driver, I driver, right? Logs will be generating application, Selenium logs both, right? Properties, we're gonna have log4j, config, OR properties, all things will remain same. And runner will be having our test.ng XML file. That is our test suite. So we can keep it over here like this. Right. So these are our resources, right? And what all resources that are required for our business pages will be keeping in the main resources. See, I'll be doing a lot of changes. Whatever design that we are following right now, it may happen that in coming modules I'll be updating or deleting some things from here because while working in a large project, we need to do a lot of changes as per the functionality. So just be with me the way that I'm designing. Just try to understand the concept right now, right? So in my main package, I'm gonna create a package called as com.w2a.pages. So all my business pages will be defined over here, right? So let's see what else that is required. Listeners are there, business pages are there. Then that's it for the timing. I'm gonna keep it only this much, and then we're gonna start writing the very first code. Now, what we will be doing is normally whenever we were following a framework, let's say this is one single page, right? On this page, what we were doing, we were adding a customer. So I've created a different class called add customer test.java. For opening account, I've created a different class, open account.java. For customer, we can add another class, customer validation test.java. So if we have like 10 functionalities in a page, we will be creating 10 different classes. But this is not how it works in page object model. In page object model, for entire page, you will be creating just one single class, no matter how many functionalities you have, and all the functionalities will gonna come in a form of a method inside that class. Let's say if I talk about the website that we will be handling, it's zoho.com, right? So I'll open this in Firefox. We can do the execution in any browser. We're gonna see multi-browser execution as well, but for the timing, let's locate some element on Firefox because easily we get Firebug, Firepath, right? So which makes our task easy and locating elements, right? So this is like the home page of the website. We can do a lot of things over here. We can go to support, go to login, go to sign up, right? We can click on learn more. We can validate these things, these elements on the page. We can validate links on the page, right? We can validate footer elements over here. There are so many things that we can do it on the home page of this website, right? If we start writing manual test cases, there's no limit of writing manual test cases on this main home page, right? You can write as many as permutation combination. You can use any as many permutation combination you want, right? And the same thing we need to automate. But for handling all these things, you'll not be creating different classes. Rather, you will create just one class. You'll go inside your pages and create one single class and name it as home page, right? And click on finish. So this is the very first class that we have created. Right. Inside this, you can add a functionality, whatever functionality that you see on the website. Instead of creating different classes for all the functionalities, you can add them in a method like this. Let's say public void to sign up, or let's say go to sign up, go to sign up, and then go to login, go to login. Then go to support. The very first one, go to support. right? And then what we have, go to Zoho Edu, right? So these are the options available that we can validate, right? And then we can click on learn more, public void, uh, go to learn more, right? And then where is it? Yeah. Then we can validate. See, so many functionalities are there. Let's say you want to validate footer links from here. So validate footer links. Validate footer links. Right. And accordingly, what all functionality that you see on this page, you need to design all these functionalities in form of a method over here. You'll not be creating different classes for all these functionalities. So let's say if you want to go to sign up, or if you want to go to login. So first we need the WebDriver instance over here. We'll say WebDriver. We'll be importing the WebDriver, and we're gonna say driver dot find element by dot, let's say we're going to take XPath or CSS of this element. uh, we'll open up Firebug and we'll navigate this element. Let's say I want to click on login. If I take the CSS of this element, so this is the CSS of this element, very straightforward. So I can say by dot CSS selector this dot click. Similarly, if you want to go to sign up, so this is for sign up, just copy this and say driver dot find element by dot CSS selector this dot click. Then same thing goes for support, and we got so many elements over here for support. So we need something that is for support specifically, right? So you can either take CSS, or let's say this class and anchor should be the first child, right? So this is the support element. First child, it should be the second child, right? So it will be nth child 2. This is what the support element is. So copy this CSS. Right now I'm adding all the CSS over here. I'll be putting these things into the properties file. So just be with me for some time. I'm first trying to explain you the concept behind the page object model. Then we will be optimizing this framework, right? We'll not be hard coding any of these things. So this is how we have designed the home page, and rest I'll leave it for you. You need to finish up these functionalities, right? So same way you will be designing rest of the part over here. And now what I'm gonna do, let's say I want to call this go to sign up, or I want to go to login. So I'll be going inside my test packages. For the time being, uh, we are not looking at into the test-ng part. I'm not going to include any framework right now. We'll just be understanding the Java concepts, right? So I'll be creating a rough class over here. Probably let's say I'm performing login test. So I'll name it as login test with the main method, right? Where what I'll be doing is I'll call the basic web driver equal to new Firefox driver, and I'll say driver dot get and go to http zoho.com, right? And after navigating to this, what I want to do is I want to go to login. So I'll be creating an object of this home page. I'll say home page home equal to new home page, and then I'll call the method home dot do go to login. Right, this is how I'll be calling it. Right, you want to do driver dot manage dot window dot maximize driver dot manage dot timeouts dot implicit wait. Right, make it for 10 seconds so that whenever there's a need for wait, it should automatically get handled for the presence of element. Right, so this is how we should be doing it. Right, now if I run this, let's see will it's gonna work or not. So it has gone to Zoho and going to the home page. It's a bulky website, so it will probably gonna take some time to load completely. And yes, it's completely loaded. And it's still loading. Just wait for a few more seconds. Yep, but it didn't click on login. Right, let's see. We got an exception. An exception in thread main says Java null pointer exception, which is in this class. If you're gonna take a look over here, login test line Java line 21. So we have an exception over here, the null pointer. And why the exception is there, you need to look at is the home page go to login method. So if you click on this, it will gonna take you over here, and it is saying the exception is over here with this driver reference. Why the exception is there? Because this driver reference is never initialized, right? What initialized was this driver reference. This driver is holding the value of new Firefox driver, right? This is holding an object of new Firefox driver, and with this object reference, navigation happened successful, right? Maximize and all these things were successful. But when it comes over here, when it calls go to login method, then the driver inside this go to login method was never initialized. So this is still null. That is the reason it has thrown null pointer exception. So this is the very first challenge that we come across, and what we need to do is we need to provide this driver the object of new Firefox driver. So this should actually get the same driver reference. In fact, not the new Firefox driver, it should get the reference which is stored inside this object reference. So that is what, because this is already initialized. I want all the statements that is executed below should have the same driver reference. So how are we going to achieve this? This is the very first hurdle that we came across now.